Hi everyone, it's Sarah. Welcome back to a video tutorial at Mrs. Lincoln's Inkin. Today I wanted to show you how I make these little desktop paper holders. I think that they are just so cute and they would look good atop any desk, whether it be your mother's desk, your teacher's desk, or even your dad's desk or your grandpa's desk, anybody's desk. Now these holders right here fit 4 1/4 sheets. So if you get a ream of computer paper or whatever, all you have to do is cut the ream into quarters and then you can be able to fill it up. So let's go ahead and get started on how I make these. So first what you're going to need is a piece of plain cardstock, and I'm using the Pink Pure Wet, and this is just an average 8.5 by 11 sheet. And we need to make a cut, so I'm going to get my cutting board here. And we're going to cut at 9.5. And that's the only cut that we're going to be making today. So you're pretty much using the whole strip of cards, or the whole thing of cardstock, all but just that little piece right there. And I'm sure you can find something to make that with. Okay, so now that we have our 9.5 by 8.5 sheet, we need to get our scoreboard. Okay, now first we're going to put our 8.5 inch side up on top. And we're going to score at 1, 2, 6.5, and 7.5. Now we're going to flip it a quarter of a turn, so the 9.5 side is on top of our board, and we're going to score at 1, 6.5, and 7.5. So the only score mark that you're not going to do on the 9.5 inch side is at the 2 inch mark. So now we're done with our scoring, so I'm going to put our board away. Okay, so now on our 9.5 inch side we have 2 squares right here at in the corners on our 8.5 inch side. I'm sorry. What we want to do is we want to cut those 2 squares all the way up to the second score line. And you want to try and get them in as straight as possible. So then with your 8.5 side inch at the top, it should look like this. Now there's 2 little squares right here, and we want to go ahead and completely cut those off. Just like that. So now on the other end of our cardstock we have 2 triangles and 2 squares, so a total of 4 triangles and 4 little squares. So what again we want to do is we want to cut on this side, so this would have been our 9.5 inch side. We want to cut these 2 score lines all the way up to the second score line up there. Now once that's done, we want to go ahead and cut this rectangle and this square. So the farthest to the edge, that rectangle and that square, they need to go. So we're just going to cut them off real fast. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. And then cut our rectangle and our square off. There. So now it should look like this. So now, with it being a box, we want to take our bone folder and we want to make sure that we reinforce these lines really good so that when it comes time to fold our box, that it folds nice and easy. So you just want to score every score line really good, making sure that all your lines are even. Because sometimes when you cut on the score lines, your cuts get a little jig-jaggy. Well, at least mine do. And this way, I can make sure that everything is nice and even and flush together. So it's almost like a second chance if you got your lines kind of crooked. Then you can definitely fix it. Just a couple more here. Go. And this side. Oh, I already did that side. Okay, so now we're all done reinforcing. So now what we want to do is on this end right here with your little flap, not the one with the big flap, but the little flap, you want to take your 1 1/4 circle punch and you want to place it in the middle, in the center, the best that you can, and then you want to punch it out. Just like that. And that's going to be your little groove right here so you can get your finger in there to get your paper. Now what I like to do up here on my big tab on the square right here, I like to go ahead right now and put my DSP if I'm using DSP for my decoration. And this is cut at 4 1/4 by 1 3/4 and I'm using the Print Poetry DSP. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this on there real fast. But you want to make sure that when you put your DSP on it, that you put it on the side where it's, you know, if you lay it down where it's puffed up, not the underneath, because this is actually going to fold over. So you want to put it on the back side so that when you put your holder together, you can see the DSP. There we go. So just stick that down there. Alright, so now to assemble our box. What you want to do first is you want to put sticky strip, and I would strongly recommend again using the red sticky because it is a box and the red sticky will help hold it together better, but I'm just using snail for the sake of the video. And you want to put sticky on these 4 tabs right here. So these 2 on the big end and then these 2 on the little end. And if you can, you want to try and put them on both sides. So you got to kind of hold it with your finger and, you know, give it some push in order to be able to get it on both sides. But having it on both sides really helps. So now, I always start from the back when assembling my box. So I'm going to take my little tab right there with my sticky, take my side, line it up flush, and then fold my side over. And I'm going to do the same thing with this side first. Take my tab down, get it flush, and then fold my side down. And then the same thing with the front. Get it flush there, and then fold it down. Give it a little, there we go. Stick this in there like that, and then do the same thing. There. So there are the sides of our box. How cute. So now I'm going to put sticky just on the inside of these 2 tabs right here. Ooh, and I just ran out of sticky, so let me grab another tape runner here. A Creative Memory tape runner was the one I had on hand. And then fold this over. And you want to get this as flush as possible because people are going to see these tabs right there on the side. So then I just take my bone folder and I just go in and give it a nice little press. And then that's going to hold our box together. And then there is our cute little box. And then when you want, you can just put paper right inside of it. Look at that. How cute. Well, that's how I went ahead and made my stationary desktop holder. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Until next time, happy inkin'!